well-known problem. Well-known problem, we want to have the measure of an angle formed by two chords that intersect inside a circle is equal to half the sum of the measure of the intercepted arcs. So this is our chord and AB, and this is another chord CD. So we want to have the measure of an angle 1. So this angle is the interior angle. So our rule, it will be equal measure of angle 1 equal half the measure of arc AC plus measure of arc BD. Here, just so you know, our angle, it will be half the measure of angle AC arc plus measure of angle BD arc. Draw AB. Measure angle 1, it will be the exterior angle for 2 and 3. So measure angle 2, it will be half the measure of arc AC, because measure of arc AC, it will be subtended to this inscribed angle, and for the other one, measure of angle 3, it will be subtended to the measure of arc BD. So measure of angle 1, it will be half measure of angle AC plus measure of angle BD. The interior angle of the theorem, so we want to have our angle X, it will be half the measure of arc 91 plus 85. So our result, it will be 88. For Y, it will be the difference between 180 minus 88. So our Y, it will be 92. Here is our example. Measure angle 1 equal 55 and measure of arc RS, it will be 80. Find BQ. So to get BQ, it will be by putting our equations, measure of angle 1 equal half the sum of two arcs. By substituting in this equation, we find the measure of angle BQ arc, it will be 110 minus 80. By making 2 multiply 55, it will be 110 minus 80. So our result, it will be 30. The measure of an angle formed by two secant, two tangents, or secant and tangent drawing from a point outside a circle is equal half the difference of measure of intercepted arcs. Like this example, it will be the exterior angle here, it will be 1. So it will be half the measure of X, the major arc, minus the minor arc Y. So in this case, we find that the exterior angle, it will be the measure of angle 3 equals the sum of that another two angle. So by making this difference, it will be angle 3 minus angle 2. So by making like the case before, it will be half the subtended arc X and half the subtended arc Y. So our example, it will be half X minus Y. For this example, we find that the measure of arc DC equal 100, measure of arc EB equal 80. So measure angle A we want to find. So by making the difference between half 100 minus 40, it will be the example, it will be 30. Theorem: if two secant and secant intersect in the exterior circle, so the measure of angle formed is 1/2 the positive difference of the measure of intercepted arcs. So our circle here and the two secant, so we find that the intersection, it will be on the two arcs, major and minor. So we find that the 100 and the another it will be 10. So half 100 minus 10, it will be half 90, it will be the 45. So the exterior angle, it will be 45 degrees. Use the tangent here. So we want to find the measure of arc BC. So by putting our relation, so we find that by using substitution, it will be the answer by multiplying 2 to get rid of 2. So our measure of arc BC, it will be 17.